All right, let's go. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's going to be a comparison video between the Big Rock and the Granite, two often compared models, both monster trucks, one with a short wheelbase in the Granite and the long wheelbase in the Big Rock. So I got three areas for us to run today. Right now we're over in the woods area, so we got sticks and trees and roots sticking up, so a little bit of overall area. In a tight area like this, you may even run it on 50%. Right now I'm running on 100%, and you know, it's quite a bit of power for this small area. So the advantages with the Big Rock is the wider stance like the Typhon and the longer wheelbase like the Senton. So it's going to have the longest and widest stance out of the trucks. Once you change out to 17mm hex, as I've got a video on, if you look back in the previous videos, you'll see that I've got this on 17mm. So this is basically like having a Typhon with a truck body on it and the bumpers. So the Big Rock's going to have great straight line performance. When you punch it, it's going to take off, so you don't actually have to feather the throttle on this one. So you've got that advantage and the handling with the wider stance. You can see you can still get up on the back wheels with no problem. You know, even if you don't roll into the throttle, you can punch it and it's going to take off. When I describe this one as having better overall performance, that's why. You can, you know, smack the throttle wide open and you can go around turns faster than you can with the Granite. So overall it's going to be faster and more stable, straight line stability and around the corners. And when you're going around the corners, you want to hold into the throttle to go around the corner, and that's going to make it have better traction because it's going to drive straight through the corner. If you go full throttle and you let off and you turn it, you can see it'll want to have a tendency to slide or roll, so be careful with that. Now we're going to take it over to the tabletop section so you can see how it does over there, which will probably be what most viewers will be running through, because that's going to be just a kind of a grass field, not really any dirt or mud over there. So maybe if you're, you know, running the truck in your yard. All right, we're back at the tabletop area. This will probably be what most are going to run on, is a grass surface, maybe a little bit of dirt, but it's pretty much grass over there, so that'd be like running in a field or, you know, running in your yard. Right now we're on 50%. See, really takes off on 50%. Now, I was surprised over there. I'd switched it to 50% and didn't even think about it, and man, it was still really moving. But you can see when you go to 100%, it's a whole different animal. So now I'm gonna switch this back over to 100 so you can see the difference. See, it really takes off. Gets up on the back wheels a little bit more. All right. So got a little bit of life left in the battery. I'm gonna go over to the wood section, drive over a little bit more. Now in tighter sections like that, I normally use the more sensitive steering. That way, you know, it makes it easier to go around the trees and stuff over there. You know, if you're in a small area. If you're driving in your yard, probably the best combination you can do is 50% with the steering turned up a little bit more. So now we're over in the dirt area, in the open area over here. You see what it's like running on dirt areas. So you can really slide with these trucks. Right there, did a donut with no problem. When I'm running more open like this, I run my steering rate on half. Over there in the woods course area, I run it in the you know, a higher sensitivity, so the dial more towards the right, towards full or max, whatever you want to call it. But I turn it down a little bit when I'm going more wide open because it's going to give you better stability. It's going to give you better resolution, so the controller is going to be dialed down a little bit more. That way, you know, when you're going like this, you want to make slight adjustments, you can. Because when it's real sensitive and you barely touch the dial, it's going to allow it to turn a lot faster, and the truck's going to get, well, it's going to get more squirrely on you. But if you like that, nothing wrong with that. That's why they allow you to adjust it. Boy, look at that boat down there. That guy's hauling the mail over there. Even on this loose surface, you see how you can punch the throttle wide open and it just takes off. As I mentioned, both great trucks. It's just if you want more of a stunt truck and a truck that'll keep you on your toes a little bit more, or if you want more of a speed truck, all-around truck, you know, you just kind of decide for yourself which one you like. Ultimate goal is to get both of them. That's the ultimate goal, get both of them. If you can't decide, it's probably the best route to go, just get them both. Hold on, so I had to turn back around. I just put a fresh pack in, and that was on 50%. So those wheelies, and you've seen, you know, those tires really digging in and throwing the dirt behind it and taking off, that was only 50%. So here's 100. Wow, I didn't even realize that. I do that when the battery gets low just to go over to the bench, not to carry the truck as far. As you can see at 100%, it really turns into an animal in the dirt. And it gets up on the back tires even easier. So I'll put these videos together, the one just now and then this one. That way you can see a back-to-back comparison of a 50% and 100% run. See, 100%, when it gets the traction, it'll get on those back wheels. Which I'm actually glad I did that now, because I wanted you all to see the difference in 50 to 100%. You know, the Big Rock only comes in a brushless with the black body now. You can't get it in a brush model like the Granite. So if you're on the fence between buying a Mega in one of the models, or you're wanting to buy the brushless, that gives you an idea of how fast it can be on a 3S with 50% throttle. If you can start out that way, is probably the best, because you're going to save yourself money in the long run. The Mega is going to be $90 cheaper. It's $229 instead of $319. But it's going to cost you more in the long run to upgrade a Mega to a brushless model. So you see, as I showed you there, with it on 50%, it's still got plenty of power. Just a different machine on 100%. Now there's a little bit of upgrade you can do when you're driving a Mega. It comes with a NIM battery from the factory. You can run it on a 2S LiPo, and that's going to give you an upgrade. But if you can start off with the 3S on 50%, they say you're going to be better in the long run. It's better to get used to the lowest setting and work your way up to the high setting than run it on the high setting and get bored of the power quick, because then you're going to have to upgrade. You can't grow into a Mega, but you can grow into a brushless. As I mentioned, the strengths of this truck is the handling and the straight line stability, and more stable on top speed. So if you're looking for a more truck in those along those lines, you know, and that excels in those areas, then you'll probably want to go with the Big Rock.